kiss for you.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the first annual Cloud Gaming Awards. We're going to have a very interesting show tonight with 10 categories of awards that people have voted on and determined that these are the winners for these 10 categories. After, we'll have an after-party show. That's a more discussion and tier list based approach. So without further ado, let's get into it. We have this beautiful set here with all of our contenders on the sidelines rooting for it. And then we'll get on with everything else. The first category up for grabs is the ease of use accessibility. This award goes to the cloud gaming service with the best ease of use and its accessibility, meaning the one that can be most easily accessed by enough people. It's easy enough to get access to games, access to the service, and it has the most availability for play styles, independence of like keyboard and mouse and controller and that kind of stuff. The nominees for this award are Google Stadia, GeForce Now, Amazon Luna, xCloud, and PS Now. And the winner for ease of use accessibility is Stadia. Yes, since most people already have a Google account, accessing Stadia is very quick and easy for most people. You can buy games through Google Play and Google Pay with your gift card and accounts respectively, and you can access a full version of Stadia through a browser without having to download a separate app. So that is why the ease of use accessibility has gone to Stadia. Congratulations, Stadia, for that award. Alright, the next award up for grabs is the Ease of Use Playstyles Award. This award goes to any cloud gaming service that has the best playstyles compatibility. So if you want to do touch on your phone, you can do that. If you want to use a PS4 controller, an Xbox controller, you can do that. A keyboard and mouse, it supports it. An adaptive controller, it supports that. So, alright, the nominees are Google Stadia, GeForce Now, Amazon Luna, xCloud, and LoudPlay. Alright, and the winner for Ease of Use Playstyles is... It's a tie, actually, between Stadia and GeForce Now. So, congratulations to both of those. They both have a tie in the amount of playstyles they can do. They can both be accessed on a browser easily enough. They both support any type of controller and their own sort of controller, a special version of a controller, as well as keyboard and mouse and any other sort of setup that you want with touch controls as well. Alright, the next award up for grabs is the Game Selection Award. This goes to the service with the highest amount of games that you can play on the service, most amount of games getting added, that kind of thing. And the nominees are Google Stadia, GeForce Now, Amazon Luna, xCloud, and PS Now. So the winner for the most amount of game selection on the service is GeForce Now. Congratulations to GeForce Now on that victory. They definitely have the most. It is the easiest to get access to a bunch of games on the service, as well as free games without any problem. Free games are definitely a good selling point, as well as weekly editions of multiple games from small indie studios on Steam to the big blockbuster titles. Alright, the next award we're going for is the Performance Award. This award goes to the cloud gaming service that has the best performance in terms of latency, resolution, audio options, general performance and stability, and low amount of bugs and stuttering. The award for best performance by a mile goes to Google Stadia. Yes, Google Stadia has the best latency of any of the options with a 30 millisecond latency. Wonderful options for variability and resolution. It does not have RTX, but it does have a very solid performance metric of at least 60 FPS, if not higher in many circumstances. You are still losing quality, but not nearly as much as all the other competitors. Alright, the next award we're going to is price. This award goes to the cloud gaming option with the best pricing model. This is not necessarily the best value, as the next category talks about. This is what is the best price for the amount of games you are getting. The winner for best price is Amazon Luna. Yes, Amazon Luna actually wins an award this time because the pricing model for Amazon Luna is very good, right? You have your base $6 a month price for Amazon Luna Plus, and then you can go into other options like your retro games, your Jackbox games, and so on and so forth that you can add without needing to feel over encumbered. It's not like xCloud where you might buy it $15 a month and get this massive library of games you might not use. You can pick and choose. I want the base model and retro games and Jackbox. And all of a sudden you have a curated list of games you might actually want to play. So that's why Amazon Luna gets the pricing category. Next up is the value category. And obviously, you know the nominees. The value category for this one goes to a three-way tie. Yes, this is a three-way tie between xCloud. If you have a capable PC to run these games, if you have Game Pass and you have a capable PC, the xCloud is definitely the best value because it gets those Game Pass games you can run PC locally as well as on xCloud. GeForce Now, if you already have an existing library, that's similar, right? If you already have a PC that can run these games or have a bunch of Steam library, GeForce Now is a great value. And Stadia, if you are new to the gaming platform and just want a bunch of games you can test out on streaming or otherwise, you can do Stadia, and it is a great option in that case. Next award up is the Long-Term Viability Award. So long-term viability, the winner of that is, as we said before, xCloud. They have, obviously it's Microsoft, and they keep things around much longer than a lot of their competition. MSN's still around, obviously, and so xCloud is still around as well. All right, next category is support, the best cloud gaming service for support. You already know the nominees, and to GeForce Now. Now, what support means is the best customer service, customer experience. It does not mean the best support overall in terms of game library, but in this case, it also applies here. GeForce Now and NVIDIA tend to have the best support, although I did have a good experience with Stadia support when I had to fix an issue there. GeForce Now generally has really good support when it comes to things like membership and bug fixing, reporting, all that stuff. All right, opportunity is an interesting category. This is basically the getting more for less. So which one has the best, which do you feel like you get a lot out of for what you're paying for it, right? The best platform, the best opportunity to get into, as we said before, and it goes to GeForce Now. It strikes up another win with this one. This is mainly the getting more for less sort of methodology, and you get access to a ton of free games as well as weekly games getting added, so it's a great one to invest your time into. All right, next category is for best update. Now, best update is the one that gets the most frequent updates, the most consistent updates, the most updates without bugs and issues in it, and that kind of thing. So the nominees are, as we said before, and the winner is xCloud. Yes, xCloud, even though GeForce Now has a bunch of these features and is updating them, xCloud is updated constantly, adding new features like keyboard support, and mobile optimized games, more games as a service all the time, bug fixes and improvements, and stability and all that stuff. xCloud wins the best updated award category. And the last category up for debate here as we head into the after party, the most improved award. This is going to the service that has the most improved since its launch. Now you might be inclined to think, oh, it's GeForce Now because it's been the longest, but you'd actually be incorrect. So the nominees are, as we've said before, and the winner of this one is Amazon Luna. Now you might be kind of odd and weird and all that stuff to hear this, but Amazon Luna actually has grown a lot since its early beta, as I tested it recently after my Amazon Luna video, and I found that it is very much improved, right? It's much more stable and it has features missing from the beta, like a search bar and sort of indicators and stuff, and it's really improved a lot since that beta, actually, compared to the other services with GeForce Now, where it was in beta for like 6 years, and then it finally released, and it was like basically the same. In fact, it was actually a little bit worse, because the beta had games that the real version did not, because the publishers signed off on a beta version and then they surprise launched the real one and everyone pulled out. So that was kind of interesting. So those are your 10 categories as we see here. Let's put them up on the screen now. Easy use accessibility, got Stadia. Easy use playstyles, got Stadia and GeForce Now tie. Game selection, got GeForce Now. Performance, got Stadia. Price, got Amazon Luna. Value was a three-way tie. Long-term viability was xCloud. Supports GeForce Now. Opportunity GeForce Now. Best updated xCloud, most improved Amazon Luna. So if we go by this list, we see GeForce Now squeaks it ahead for options here, and Stadia got 3 options there, and xCloud got 2 options there, and Amazon Luna did well at getting 2 options. Actually, xCloud had technically 3 options, depending on how you look at that. So yeah, those are our awards right now. There's not a best overall winner, unfortunately, but yeah, those are our awards for the award ceremony part of the show. Hello, so we're going to be back with the tier list / discussion portion of the video here, and I have a couple of interesting points I want to make on this. So here we have the tier list. Our categories are S, A, B, F, and NA. NA is not applicable, meaning that I have not played or personally experienced these games or services, and so, or the games on the services rather, and so I'm not going to create a judgment on them. And we have a couple competitors, as we've talked about in the award show, and we have some new ones that I just recently looked up, and I was like, oh, what are these? And I looked them up, and I was like, okay, I can kind of see where they fit into the space. So let's get off right to it with Amazon Luna. So as I tested Amazon Luna originally back in the beta, I talked about how Amazon Luna was a very interesting development in sort of how the monetization and sort of the like payment aspects of the cloud gaming service, especially considering it was owned by Amazon, and just kind of like the intricacies of that, and how it would like play into its future uses, because of obviously like Prime and stuff. So basically, if you can see here, Amazon Luna was mainly split up into different kind of like sections. So you'd have the Prime members. So if you're a Prime member, you could like kind of test it out or test drive Amazon Luna with a collection of 4 games every month. In this case, it's King of Fighters 98, Amnesia Rebirth, Trax, Toy Box, and Mortal Shell. And then obviously you have your kind of selections of different categories based off of what you paid for. So for instance, the Retro channel has stuff like the Capcom Arcade, Street Fighter 2, Commando. I'm not familiar with a lot of the rest of these. Oh, Ghouls and Ghosts, I guess, Contra. And so the Retro channel was, I think, $3 a month extra on top of your normal base price, and you could basically buy into the Retro channel if you want to and get these games. Same thing with Jackbox. Luna Couch Gaming was an interesting thing, similar to like what Parsec would do, where like these games like Sonic Mania, I guess, is a good example. So in Sonic Mania, you have online co-op, right? But you don't have couch co-op. No, there's no way to like couch co-op someone with this game. I believe it's either to allow online co-op when there's only couch, or to allow couch co-op when there's only online. I don't remember the specific like which one. Maybe if I click couch, it will tell us. With the only couch, you can play local co-op games with your friends. Yeah, okay, so it's that way. So that confirms it. Sonic Mania has local co-op, but it doesn't have online co-op. And so if you wanted to play this local co-op game with online, there would be no way to do it. Now there is. So you basically kind of like Parsec, which is an application that could do that down at the bottom here, kind of that same thing of like simulates a local co-op experience even though you are online and on different sections. So that's what the online couch co-op, and so that's like a feature it enables. Again, things like Parsec also enable that. Newly added section, Sonic Colors Ultimate. One thing I noticed on Amazon Luna that I was specifically looking at was it didn't tell you what was included. So for instance, if I went to Sonic Mania, I'd have to figure out, okay, is this included with my Luna Plus subscription? It says play with Luna Plus, and it's like, okay, this is included, has single player, has local co-op there. But something like Ubisoft games, even though they show are included, most of the time are not actually like included into the base game. So if I click on Street Fighter 2, for instance, it'll say play with Retro channel, right? And that's like a certain subscription for that. So that was kind of annoying, and how you have this interface but doesn't tell you what games you actually have included. So I could go through these and then find ones that like aren't included. But most of these appear to be racing games, obviously RPGs. You got a couple of interesting ones. And now it breaks it down to channels. Your Luna Plus channel, your Ubisoft Plus channel, your family channel, trending games, that kind of thing. And it had additions like a search bar where you could search for different games and broadcast directly to Twitch and that stuff. So that was Amazon Luna. But unfortunately, the performance of Amazon Luna, especially when I tested it, wasn't that good. I had a lot of issues with it. So overall, for the potential that it can give, I'm going to give Amazon Luna about a B. GeForce Now, and GeForce Now was obviously one I tested originally. It was my first one that I tested, and I liked it a lot. I did have a number of problems with it, and overall, at the end of the day, I couldn't recommend it, especially with the amount of games it had and sort of the quality of like performance and stuff that I was getting at GeForce Now. But I could definitely see, especially on the free section, how GeForce Now could definitely be usable for a lot of people, and definitely it would probably be the one to go to, especially because it's your games, right? So if you have a bunch of games, you don't have to like start from scratch, for instance. So if you had a bunch of games from like Steam or Epic or whatever, you could pile them into here and have a massive library to start off. And you also have free games, right? So if I go to the free-to-play section, we have 100 free games. You can start off just by paying whatever amount and getting this access to these free games on top of the games you would already have owned. Stuff like obviously Fortnite, Apex Legends, Lost Ark, Rocket League, Destiny 2, League of Legends, Dota, Counter-Strike, Warframe, Path of Exile, Brawlhalla, Splitgate, Dauntless, Paladins, EVE Online, Rogue Company, Spellbreak, Smite, Animal Royale, Terra, RuneScape, Legends of Runeterra, and some other ones here, a couple random ones, Neverwinter and stuff. And so it gave you large access to games that for free that you could just go in and play when you wanted. So that's there. I would overall give GeForce Now. Oh, and also one of my other complaints was that it was limited to that 1080-60, and it kind of felt inconsistent at times. But they've added a $15 a month upgrade, which I think is a little bit of a lot, but there is an option there if you want it. Overall, I'd give GeForce Now an A tier, mainly because at least when I tried it, the performance was kind of eh. If that performance increases something a lot more consistent, it would be S tier. So we'll put it in high A tier for the moment. Now, Stadia. I personally love Stadia at the moment because I've been able to play games on my phone and on my MacBook, and even on here that I wouldn't normally be able to, right? It's similar to GeForce Now. It is a straight fee, so unlike Amazon Luna where you can like split it up, Stadia is a straight fee, $10 a month, and you get access to a bunch of games and discounts on games you want to buy in the store, as well as increased resolution and stuff. So the three main advantages are your games that you get included, your discounts, and your increased resolution stuff. So if I go to my game selection, my library here, there's a bunch of games that are included, and obviously sales. So I bought Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 because it was on sale for like $7 or whatever on Stadia, and then you have a bunch of games under the Pro moniker that are included. Ys 9 is pretty cool. Grim looks interesting. Terraria, Destiny 2 is free. It's one of the free included games. I also got Elder Scrolls Online because one of the advantages I saw on Stadia was the fact that you can just access a browser and then immediately get into a game that would take 120 gigs. Same thing with Ark, even though Ark doesn't look great on here. Control, and there's some like high profile stuff, right? Like Ys, like Ark, like Control. Super Hot, Everspace is pretty big, PUBG, Journey to the Savage Planet, F1 2020, World Wars The Aftermath is pretty big, Life is Strange, Darksiders, Genesis, Darksiders again, Saints Row, Shantae, Draw Humans, Dragons, Moonlighter is pretty big, other stuff like Blue Fire, Wreckfest, Trials of Cold Steel, Rainbow Six Extraction Demo, Hitman, Enter the Gungeon, Human Fall Flat, SteamWorld Heist, Little Nightmares 2, Reigns, Submerged, Rehydrated, and Resident Evil 7. And so those are the games or collection that you can get for, in this case, I had that promo, so I've been doing that for free. But I do own Xenoverse 2 and Elder Scrolls, so even if I'm not paying for Stadia and I can just access the standard 1080-60 version, I can still play these games relatively no problem. The main gripe with Stadia is the fact that you do have to buy. There's not a lot of games on the service because they're like special made or whatever, so they like run better. But also then you run the problem of like needing to pay usually $60 for FIFA or whatever. So not great in terms of you having to buy games on a platform that could disappear one day. So that was the main concern there. Hopefully the mic's working. Okay, good. Yeah, so it's like stuff on sale and it has all these things, and it's like, oh, here's the stuff on sale, right? And it's Golden Week or whatever, so if you like a bunch of JRPGs, there's that. And yeah, overall, like, there's not a ton of games that, like, they have to make this one game, like, a massive chunk of the screen because they don't have a ton of games. They have, like, trials and stuff, so if you want to, like, test out the service and stuff, you can do that with the trials. And some of the free games here, for instance, Resident Evil Village is $30 right now on Steam, Stadia Pro deals, that kind of thing. Yeah, and so overall that it was Stadia, and I really enjoyed the latency is really good, the performance has been great, controller works really well, and overall I'm just really happy with the experience so far because it gives you that. Is it the best value? No, probably not. That would probably go to GeForce Now. Overall, I really like Stadia, and honestly I'm going to give it an S tier. And if I'm giving Stadia an S tier, even with its faults, I guess I'm also going to have to now give GeForce Now an S tier because I do think it's technically the best solution. I just like Stadia more. Like I like just how it like the latency is very good. The performance was like never a problem. It's occasionally a little iffy, but like Stadia's real problem at this point is that it just doesn't have enough games on it. So yeah. Liquid Sky. Now, Liquid Sky is quite interesting because I try not to put stuff in this list that no longer exists or like isn't operating anymore because it kind of feels weird to compare like before and after. But I did make an exception with Liquid Sky because it was one of the first cloud gaming things I was able to beta test, and one of the first cloud gaming things that launched in 2014. Unfortunately, it was shut down in 2018 and then bought by Walmart. So, well, the cloud stuff did shut down. They were eventually bought by Walmart, and they do still operate as a like subsidiary brand of Walmart, doing sort of like cloud gaming stuff. So they are still optimizing games, and sort of they're in that Walmart sector of gaming, right? So they do still have a Twitter. They do still have old videos from 2017 talking about Liquid Sky and how it was really good, it was cool, and that kind of stuff. And so it's really sad to see that go. But at least when I tried it, was pretty good for the time being. It was free at the moment. I think they still do cloud platform stuff. But yeah, overall, we're going to give it a B because I do think it was decent. Now, Loud Play is quite interesting. So, Loud Play and Shadow, I'm going to rank both of them because they're basically the same thing. They're rent-to-PC options. So, they're rent-to-PC options. Basically, instead of just doing something like a GeForce Now or Stadia where you're renting a cloud gaming server somewhere with like hardware, this is renting a full PC, not just to play games, but also anything else, right? So if you want to play games, you can do that. If you want to run applications like Photoshop or whatever, you can do that. If you want to just be able to like have a web browsing experience or any application you want, you can do that on Shadow or Loud Play. They're basically the same concept, right? Giving you access to a fully featured PC that runs Windows-based applications. Unfortunately, as you can see, it's quite expensive, $30 a month for Shadow and $20 for Loud Play. Loud Play is in beta, that's why it's not fully priced, but I think around $30 is what you're looking at from here. It is a high-end PC, being able to do things like 4K 60 or 144 1080, super low latency, and you can bring your own gear, right? You can do keyboards, headset, mice, all that stuff. You can kind of like pass it through, which is quite important, and obviously install any software you own. So this is similar to the GeForce Now in the fact that it's giving you a PC, but it's not like an internet cafe or something like that. It's not giving you access to the games on it. You still have to have a license to those games and still buy the games if you want. So it's more akin to something like a GeForce Now than it would be to like an xCloud or a Stadia. So yeah, that's basically there. The tech specs are getting a little on the slower side. It's a 1080 4-core processor, 12 gigs of memory, 256 gigs of storage. So overall, it is worse than the computer I have currently, which is like 5 years old at this point, and that's $30 a month. So it's probably not the best value in this space at the moment. But yeah, Shadow and Loud Play are that. I did test both of them, and they are decent, although especially for the price, I wouldn't say they're great. So overall, in terms of the objective, which is cloud gaming, I'm going to give both of these an F for the time being. If they change and eventually they're like better in some capacity, but for their primary purpose, you can definitely do better. Let's go to xCloud. So xCloud is quite interesting because, as we said before, I don't have the xCloud access anymore because I'm not paying for it, but xCloud is a sort of included with Xbox Game Pass. You pay for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, $15 a month, and then you get access to xCloud, cloud gaming version of Game Pass. All the Game Pass games with xCloud. So you pay the $15 a month, you get Game Pass on PC, console, Gold to be able to play it, and then you get the xCloud to be able to play those same games on the cloud. Unfortunately, it's only workable with the controller, locked to 1080-60, and obviously the only games included are the ones with Game Pass. So, I tried that out for a bit. I thought it was pretty good in a lot of cases, but overall, it kind of, especially for $15 a month and needing to play with the controller and stuff, there are kind of like limitations on it that I thought were kind of annoying. And while it is like an add-on or whatever, there are rumors that it's going to become a requirement that you have to pay for the Ultimate, and the other ones are going to disappear. And so I think if you're going to do something in this space anyway, it should be at least functional to the point where you can do stuff like play it reasonably well on a phone, which just doesn't work well at all on a phone. And then even like just the general like interface and stuff has to go through a web app because there's not really a a dedicated app that works well for it. So overall, we're going to put this on a B tier. Now, PS Now is interesting. I've also played and used PS Now. Obviously, I don't have footage of that or can't like extrapolate on that more because I don't have like it set up. I don't have where to capture it, but I did find it was pretty decent, although it did not have a great selection of games. A lot of the games that they were using were very shovelware-y, right? If you looked at the selection of games, there was a lot of stuff from the PS3, on the PS4, the PS2, and original PlayStation, maybe PS3. I don't quite remember, but there's a lot of shovelware there. There's a lot of games that like didn't quite match up to what I thought it could do. Right, there wasn't a lot of good in that sort of section. So I put the sections S, A, B, F, and NA specifically so that I can't like make a C because I want to like Stadia and GeForce Now are really good. xCloud I think is a good value, even if it's not the best in terms of the the cloud gaming performance. I think in terms of value it is definitely better. So I put it above Luna because I don't think Luna is a good value, especially with the games you get currently in that service. And then F is mainly sort of like it can be improved definitely, and there are things. PS Now obviously is going to be intertwined, if you will, into PS Plus with their new PS Plus service or whatever. It's more acting similar to something like a Game Pass. So for now, I'm giving that a B. Let's go for NetBoom. So NetBoom is actually kind of complicated. Oh my God, we're already at 18 minutes. NetBoom is kind of complicated because I actually have it written down here, trying to understand their business model. Give me a moment. Yeah, so it looks like NetBoom is like a combination of GeForce Now and xCloud with a model similar to something like an internet cafe. So let me just find it. So NetBoom has a free tier, and that free tier is like GeForce Now's free tier, which allows you access to your games that you already own through Steam or otherwise we play on the cloud. And it has the standard things like a queue and time limits. But it also has a PC cafe type system where still on the free tier you can pay for game time on games you do not own. So if I wanted to pay I don't remember what the pricing was, like $1 or whatever for an hour of Cyberpunk on the free tier. So if I was not paying for it, but I wanted to pay for like $1 an hour for Cyberpunk that I didn't own, I could do that with this model. The paid tier of NetBoom acted like xCloud. So it included games in the service, priority queue, and a higher rig. That had an 80-hour a month or 2.6 hour a day limit on the amount of time you could spend in the service, right? So there's like a time limit on that. And the interesting thing is, I'm pretty sure on that, when you're paying to get like the xCloud like experience with those priority queues and a higher end rig, you could also still pay the like whatever rate per hour to access games you don't own. So overall, it was a very complicated system. It was made worse by the fact that I couldn't find a way how to download it on PC, and it looked like the only way to reasonably test this was on mobile, and I didn't want to do it on mobile. And I looked at some other people that were able to get it on PC and mobile and stuff, and it did not look great. There's definitely a lot of latency and a lot of weird things happening. And so overall, I think it's a really interesting idea. I think we do need more PC Cafe pay as you go type of system rather than just a subscription fee, which we'll get into in a minute. But overall, I think it doesn't really succeed in its objective overall because of the fact that it's not easily accessible on a PC and the streaming quality is not that good. So it can definitely be improved, but I do like where it's going. Okay, Black Knot Cloud Gaming. Now, they are quite interesting because they are most similar to an xCloud situation, except for the fact that they're shitting expensive at $16 a month. Now, it's supposed to be play anywhere, anytime, no need for console, no games, buy no installation, all that crap. $16 a month. And the games are not even that good, right? They're like online saves or whatever. You don't need to buy games. It's all inclusive. But like the games themselves aren't really that good. There's like a couple of interesting ones here. But overall, for $16 a month, it was overall not very... I didn't think it was that good of an idea. There's no free trial or whatever, so you have to subscribe for that price. And it's just kind of annoying because there's obviously no way to test it. There's no like setup, and it could suck and you don't know, right? And there's not a ton of confidence on this. I have not tested this, however. so I'm not going to draw any conclusions at the moment. These last three are quite interesting and sort of the additions that I thought they would be. So when I tried to look up cloud gaming services, I found this Geek Flare article talking about all the services. And obviously the first one was GeForce Now. Second one was, interestingly, PlayStation Now, which I guess makes sense because that was on the consoles. Google Stadia was being talked about. Shadow was talked about. And then something called Vortex was talked about. This is kind of interesting because it looked like, oh, okay, this is another one of these. It is a xCloud, right? Similar to like an xCloud thing. Vortex here. The reason that I haven't obviously tested this, and it looks like I can't because I'm not sure if this is shut down or not, but it says we are not accepting new user registrations or subscriptions, meaning they're either shut down or they're at max capacity. But either way, that's interesting. This little movement thing is also kind of interesting. Yeah, so it's basically like, here it is. Here's a Nokia phone from like 2005. Kidding. Yeah, so it was like talking about, okay, here's the PC games. You click on your PC library, and then you have these license required things that pop up. And also a lot of these games are not super well known. Also, a lot of them for some reason are maintenance. Not sure what the maintenance button's supposed to mean. Yeah, there's like nothing here. Try other platforms, not sure what that means. Experience the cloud, Vortex, all this stuff. But currently it doesn't look like they're in operation. So, how does it work? What are the benefits? How's the subscription? We offer you 3 major tiers that fit your need. Basic plan for 10, Pro for 20, and Ultimate for 30. Jesus Christ. The higher the plan, the more included games you'll receive. You also have access to more features such as HD quality. Different playtime hours, interesting. Cancel any time. Where are the playtime hours? It doesn't exist yet. So I obviously can't submit to that one, so we'll put that here. These other two are quite interesting. Play Key is another one. As far as the article goes, Play Key is just mainly talking about blockchain technology. So Play Key is a win-win for services for both crypto miners and gamers. You can basically let this stupid thing mine crypto as being part of the blockchain network. You're not using it. And it runs off of a 1080 Ti, 20 gigs of RAM, and an i7 4-core. Doesn't support mobile devices and only runs on desktop operating systems. And judging by this screenshot and functional thing, I have a feeling it's probably not going to be great, especially for the amount of the quality that it's showing. So overall, I would give this a undisclosed tier, but based off of what we're seeing here, we'll give it an F tier. All right. So the last one up for grabs is Paperspace. Now, Paperspace is actually the one that I'm most interested in trying out next to see if it's actually any good because it has an interesting premise. It's basically GeForce Now, right? Your play games you already own, but it's a pay-as-you-go system at like an internet cafe, like 45 cents or whatever. And you can also customize your rig and like your specs and stuff. So it's kind of interesting, and I'll definitely check this one out. So I'm actually kind of optimistic, so I'll give this one a B tier temporarily. So our final sort of tier list thing is we have Stadia and GeForce Now, xCloud because of its value. We have Luna up here, and then we have this. We have Liquid Sky, which is defunct, but when we tried it, I did also like it. And this I'm pretty optimistic about. These ones kind of fail because they're like too expensive or too complicated and don't perform as well. And obviously I haven't tested these and I can't test this one. I can test black, but for now it looks like in terms of value, this is definitely worse than something like an xCloud, obviously. And also a different brand. So yeah, this is the tier list here. If you want to see more of these kind of tier list discussions, make sure to like, subscribe and all that stuff. This is a very long video so far, so I can see if I can cut it down, but otherwise, I will see everyone in the next video.